The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Today, our guests are Micah Schnabel and Vanessa Speckman of the band Call Me Rita. I talk with them about everything. We go into everything from being able to live to art to music and back around again. Stick around to the end of the episode to hear a brand new song by them. This is episode 364 of the Struggling Artist Podcast, Struggling with Micah Schnabel and Vanessa Speckman.
Here lies my self-esteem, standing in the crowd by my apathy. Never said I learned my lesson, no regrets, no confessions. Truth be told, I never was one to care. I couldn't tell you why everyone was
I think everyone needs to be fired up these days. So,
100.
Micah and Vanessa, thank you guys. I was so pumped to talk to you at Puza. I've seen you both perform before in Massachusetts, where I live, and it was just like I was like, I've been meaning to reach out and ask you both on the show. I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing it here. I'm doing it in Canada.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
We're
us.
Stoked about it.
Of course. Now, you guys had some troubles getting the whole band into the country. You know how many people I know? They're like, I can't go there. I'm like, why? And they're like, I had like a DUI in 1992. Like,
That's the rules are whatever that person seems to want at that whoever
At that
you pull
moment,
up
right?
to. Yeah, because they got after us because we didn't have a carnet for all the gear, which is like a list of gear, how much everything is worth. But most of the time, or at least any other time we've gone, that's never been a thing or a problem.
It's for bigger bands on tour buses and whatnot.
So I think we rolled up to the wrong person. We rolled across the Ambassador Bridge
In Detroit.
They were trained. They had training folks lined up 50 deep down the side, and I think they were training folks. So I think we fell into that, and
So we didn't get dinged for the carnet, but the ultimate thing was they were handing us our passports back, and they were like, your guitarist can't come in because he has a DUI from
2014.
Right. So
I don't know. That's crazy. It's crazy. When we went over, I was like, this is nothing like it is in the movies. Like when we were going up, I was expecting dogs and M16s, you know what I mean? Like I was like, what's this? This isn't that. But the lady was like talking to my buddy Jeff, who was driving, and then she starts talking to me, and I like panicked, and I was because I didn't expect her to. She's like, "What do you do for work?" And I was like, "Blah, blah, blah," you know.
Right. They were like, what type of songs do you play? It's like,
Yeah.
So she waved us through, and that was that. But I was like, that's
situations always have a hard time where you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. And
it's
I've always
important
felt that way. Like here, every time I've been pulled over, every time a cop has approached me, like it's and you when we're little they teach us that's not the case, but it is. It's totally the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I just remember one time I had a buddy who he had a run in with the law once or twice, and they were like, this cop was like, "You're really starting to piss me off," and he's like, "It's not your job to get pissed off. No, that's not your job. Like, you're not supposed to get pissed off, you know."
Right.
So he's like, "Just take me to fucking jail," and let it be that, you know. So yeah, but it's just everything we were taught growing up is so wrong.
Yeah.
And
Completely
about
invalid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I write about it a lot, and like, you know, what you guys do is you know, it's amazing, and you're so willing to put you and your experiences out there for everybody, and I appreciate that. I don't know if anyone has ever, like, you know, I don't know if you hear it enough, but I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. And I think it's our way of communicating with the world. And Vanessa and I have this conversation a lot because I'm 43. So we grew up in the analog world, and then it switched over to digital as soon as we graduated from high school. Like, everything we learned growing up was invalidated the moment we graduated from high school.
Yeah.
So we've been joking about it lately, like, well, not really joking, but talking about jobs and stuff. Like, I don't even know what people do for jobs anymore.
I don't
Like,
know.
I ask my friends what they do, and it's like, oh, I send emails to Steve 3 times a week, and then we talk Zoom on the phone, or Zoom 9 times.
CEO of Vibes.
The CEO of Vibes. I'm like, what is everybody doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. So the world has changed so much, and
In
everything
such a
we
little
learn-
bit of time, right? I mean, it hasn't been, you know, I've been out of high school. I graduated in '99. Like, it's been a short amount of time that everything's just changed. And like, I remember I couldn't wait to work for $12 an hour because that was a good wage.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I got there, it wasn't anymore. It's 15. Okay, we'll get there. We got there. No, that's not it anymore. I mean, you can't even, I feel like nowadays it's got to be up like in the mid 20s to be able to survive out there. Like, it rents.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I grew up in a small coastal town in Rhode Island. It wasn't like the beach end is like like the bougie expensive stuff, but like, you know, if you lived in town, like, it was affordable. It's not anymore. Like, and that was one of the reasons I left in 2011 and I went to Worcester, and like, I was just like, I can't, like, my job, they were like, there's, you know, basically my boss was like, there's no room to grow and there's no money to give. And I was trying to move within the company to work for another, to work for an engineer doing his prototype building. And he wouldn't let me. He was like, no poaching. I'm like, you're not leaving me any options. Like, the company keeps a good worker or you lose me.
Right.
You lost me. You know, like,
Before I moved to Ohio, I lived in Santa Cruz, California, and I worked in Palo Alto, which was a 2-hour commute. And I was renting a room in a house, and now we're looking at renting a house in Santa Cruz, or a room in Santa Cruz is $2,000. A room with maybe bathroom access. Like, it's all insane.
Yeah.
But Vanessa was working at a Time Inc. magazine and making $7 an hour.
$7 an hour.
In this area, like,
15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's just insane. It's just, and it's so, the mindset of people nowadays, if I feel like there's a lot of people who can't make it out there, but they live on this mindset, like they're following this other guy, right? This guy that's in office, and they think it's going to be better for them. And I'm like, where did they fool you? You know what I mean? Like, where did you feel like, what did they say to make you believe that, you know?
Right. And it's just this kind of desperate thing. And you can either open your eyes to it, or like, you can blame someone.
Right.
So hence the shit we're in right now is, blame somebody else, blame the other.
I think it fast-tracked hate, you know, and it's, I hate you because that's why I'm not making $25 an hour.
Yeah.
It's the library's fault, and it's the kids getting lunch at school. It's their fault.
Right. But now we've gone the way of everybody loses. Everybody loses. With the big, beautiful bill, everyone loses. Except the very tippity top, everyone else loses.
I didn't check an update on that today. Have you heard anything on it yet?
Yeah, I think it's through. Yeah, it's done.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's cooked.
Yes.
But
Man, this day is turning out to be
It
quite,
is. It's a day.
quite the wave, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told Micah.
Holy
It was like
shit.
the day after the election today, and it's only 6 months in.
I know. It's
I
just.
think the reality of this shit's all just starting to really kick into people.
I hope. I hope they realize it. Like, I hope the reality kicks in to everyone who needs to, because there's a lot of people again who just they live in this like they like live in this illusion of what's going on. You know,
I think they like, and whatever we can get into, like they enjoy watching others suffer, because at least if they're able to watch other people suffer, they feel like they have it a little bit better. They don't have to get anything material. As long as they can see on TV that somebody else is suffering and hear about somebody else's suffering, they feel better. So there's no turning to drag the folks away from it.
It's a false sense of control.
Right.
Yeah. So there was something like growing up, like, I remember like being in my 20s and like being like dirt poor. You know, like we would boil water to have heat in the house, to steam it up. Me and my ex at the time, and you know, like, and then when it got really cold, because, you know, it gets pretty cold here, you know, so I would run out and get some diesel and just pour it into the oil tank, so we would have a little bit of heat, you know, and I remember, and this was like 2008, 2009, during that whole thing. Like, it's just like, but I feel like it's going to get so much worse now. And one of the things that growing up as like, even in like when I was a teenager and shit, was like, because I didn't have it as hard as some, but I had it hard enough, right? And no one, and it's not a competition, right? But like, I remember like, well, why does this person get to make that much money when I wasn't making that much money? Like, it's not about making, like, people shouldn't have to go through it all because you did, you know? Yeah. And that was something that took me a few years to realize. And I think that's kind of what it is now too, right? They're seeing it on TV and they're like, good, now they can see what it's like, you know? It's like, do you think everyone get a hand up? Like,
I've
you think someone came here?
I don't want younger kids to have to eat that shit.
Yes, exactly. I remember getting peanut butter in the Crisco can. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I remember that shit. So yeah, it's like good. And I think the conversation should have been the whole time like, you know, well, how come this person makes that much when a nurse only makes this much? How about why aren't we all making enough? You know?
Right.
They do a really good job at playing chess with us and like pitting us against.
Right. It's just a complete waste of time. It's a complete waste of time of existence.
Right. We all get this short little bit of time to be on this planet that grows food and has all the energy and all the resources we need, and we've decided to do this to one another. Just penalize one another and make it worse.
Now, is that like, have you guys always had this empathy like that, or did it manifest from something like specific? Or because the reason why I asked that is because like I said, like I had this like, well, if I had to do it, everyone else does. But then like I got a little older and a little wiser, and I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to be, you know?
Right.
So I'm not gonna say like, but I mean, I've always had empathy for people, and I've always like, I remember being a kid and like not caring about like the color of people's skin, and I was like, I don't get it. Why do people make such a big deal out of it? But then like when I realized when I was older, like just because I see it that way doesn't mean the world sees it that way. So I have to be able to like correct the people who you know what I mean? Like correct people like, hey, no, like that's not how this is supposed to be, you know? So like, was this just something that always kind of like was with you, you know?
Yeah, I think both of us, and I think it's probably part of the reason that we're together, but definitely from a young age, I just have never been into being alive. Like, it never really made much sense or was something that I enjoyed. It's not an enjoyable, hasn't been an enjoyable experience for the most part since I was 7 or so.
Right. And you were penalized as a young child for expressing that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's kind of just seeing the shit in the world as a little kid and just being like, it's nonsense. It seems nonsensical for people to be suffering for needless reasons. And I think from your stories of growing up, you've been pretty similar since you were a small child.
Right. Just having kind of a hypersensitive view and lens on everything. So then I think that's probably what attracted us together. But I feel like that's also fast-tracked our confidence and support in the art right now, especially. You know?
Yeah, and I think this is a thing we talk about a lot, but with the therapeutic language that has infiltrated over the pandemic and everything, and fucked us up so much, like we started to use these terms against, and instead of like therapy and like teaching yourself to be better, we've used them as weapons against one another. So it's like, oh, that's people pleasing, that's blah blah blah. It's like, well, you know what? Slow the fuck down. You do need to think about other people. Try it for 10 seconds and consider what the space that you're taking and what you're taking in this world and how that's affecting everybody around you. It doesn't seem that crazy, but now that's even been
weaponized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This now.
Yeah. It's funny because like I not funny, but you know, I'm hypersensitive to everything in the world as well, and like I went in a different direction. I shut it all off. Like I was like, I am going to disassociate from the world and just live in this bubble, and I'll be safe. You know, because like at the end of the day, like I'm 6'5" and 400 pounds, and there's still a little boy living inside of me because he didn't have a chance to do what he needed to do. So like I just like I had to for years, and then I started going back to therapy in 2016, and like it's been a much different path since then, and I'm really happy. Like I'm happy with how I've like kind of, I don't know, evolved or whatever, but like you're right, Micah. Like I've never really had this like it's awesome to be alive kind of thing, you know? Like it's just there's just a lot of bad. There's just a lot of bad, and like I think I hit it many years by saying like because I'm not like that. That means no one's like really like that, you know. But it's not. It's not the case. It's not the case.
Right. I think that's why we're attracted to the punk scene, or you know, the music that we listen to and the people that we hang out, especially as we get older, because you don't feel as alone when you sing it from stage and there's people there receiving it who feel the same way, and you share conversation similarly afterwards.
It's such an important connection for me. I'll speak for Vanessa too. I think for Vanessa too, and I'm guessing probably you. That's why you're doing this right now and doing the things that you do. Like it means so much to connect with other people and feel validated and seen in this world, or at least just connected and not
feel alone
in the chaos of the world. And the world is so fast now, and specifically here in the US, it's so tense and so fast. Everyone's just reaching past one another and talking past one another. Like it means a lot to be able to sing the songs and connect in some kind of way to somebody else.
And I think as we're all in our 40s, that changes and has taken on a new meaning of still doing it, of you hosting this and doing your creative work, of seeing so many friends get distracted by real life responsibilities, and no discredit to that, but I think sometimes we feel very isolated in the struggle of trying to push this forward without label help or booking help or management or anything like that. So when things like Pooza or a show or this exchange mean so much to be able to further articulation, I think especially as we get older and are still doing it.
Good job.
Thank you.
No doubt. So I want to say the first time I've seen the both of you live was at Faces, and it was a couple years ago. And I know old boy Liam was performed.
One of our favorites.
Squally Greenville?
Squally didn't play that show. Coffin Salesman played that show.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was blown away. Like I didn't really I didn't know your work at that time, and like I was like, whoa, this is like a thing. Like you could do this. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you're writing. I mean, for both of you, like it's prolific, and it's in your face, and it's you know, and it can be metaphorical, but it can also be straightforward. Like you are a blend of all this stuff, and it really hits you directly in the face. And like I love like music. To me, music is something I can't do. I've never been able to play an instrument or sing or any of that stuff. So like, or even write a song. That's been like the running gag on this podcast. When I find out how to write a song, it's all over. You know what I mean? But like, I do like write, and I've done like spoken events and storytelling events, and I haven't done any in a long time, but like I had done those before, and like, you know, and like, I just really fell in love with what you guys do. and you know, and so like when the first thing I saw you put up a post on Instagram at Pooza, Micah, that said you were playing like a secret set. And I'm like, oh, I got to go to this. I got to go. And then I realized it was from the day before. I'm like, God damn it. The algorithm fucked me again, you know? So, but I did check out the Call Me Rita set down in the outdoor one. It's great. I had a blast. I know it was just, you know, you didn't have the full band. It was just you two, but like the energy you guys brought, like Vanessa, I don't know, like when I see you up there and like you bring so much energy and you keep your tone and cadence perfect, like it blows me away because right now I'm like recording like an audio collection of essays that I did. We're recording them and like I'm like, oh man, I did that way too fast. You know what I mean? So I have to like go back and so like I look at that, but like and like you're like I don't know, I'm like the balls of your feet and you're like hopping back and forth, ready to like just murder. You know?
I am. Thank you.
You know, it's how do you first off, like how long have you been performing? And with that, like did you have to learn how to keep your cadence and tone like the way you do? And
I mean, Call Me Rita started a few months before the pandemic hit. I had come to Micah with some poems, and then
we put music to back those.
So they were kind of like spoken word pieces with like a backdrop of music. And then I think we performed as a band about 2 or 3 times before the pandemic hit. And then over the course of the pandemic, I got very, very angry and very, very frustrated and very sad.
I wonder why.
What about?
Just a couple things. And so I think that's when the shift kind of came in the performance to, I want to perform songs. I want this to be more aggressive. And that's been all self-taught. I mean, the pandemic I hated, obviously, but I really hated performing acoustic with just Micah and I to a screen. Those were a lot of my first performances, and not having the loudness and the shield of the band made me feel very vulnerable, but there were no other options at the time. And in terms of performance, I mean, I've grown up in the music scene.
I was just wondering, that's what I was going to say. Vanessa grew up in the Bay Area music scene, so the aggressive music is the world that you came from.
Yeah, it was always male-dominated punk rock, loud, Gilman Street, Bottom of the Hill, the Parkside, Fat Records, Punkaramas, all that was my upbringing. So I started in the photography world, and then I made a zine called Lubricated in the early 2000s with my brother. And so I was always wanting to be a part of the scene, but similar to you, I didn't know how to play music, and I didn't know how to execute that. And so I was able to find ways to be involved. And so then, yeah, Micah helped kind of be like, hey, we should put some music to the back of those poems. And then that evolved. But in terms of performance, it was during the pandemic of just being angry. And similar to Micah, I'm very influenced by hip hop. And I think female hip hop artists right now are carrying the weight of the world and of current creative arts and performances. And I'm very, very inspired by that, and also conscious of being a white woman and not trying to appropriate, but be inspired by that. Yeah. So, yeah.
She comes from the aggressive front person. She knows the aggressive front person. She does it well. Yeah. I was very surprised when she first went from like reading poems, and then there was one show where she was like, I think I have the poems memorized, and she was just like, bam, in your face, doing it to it. And yeah, and now she's just an incredible front person.
That's awesome. Now, Micah, with a lot of your stuff too, like you, I don't know how you fit so many words into something, like into a, like it's amazing. And like, cause your and you may, I mean, it's your cadence that you give it, right? But like, that's got to take some practice, no?
It does. It's taken, because that was a later thing for me. I didn't start out that way.
Right.
how ended up kind of accidentally finding my voice in that. It's one of those things, like, as you know, as we all know as writers, like the first time you kind of write something that's you and you see and hear yourself, you're like, oh, there's me. Like, it took me a long time to find me, but there I am. So I had that moment. Then it's just been a developing thing, and it was exciting because I had to learn how to play the guitar, but it's almost more like drumming because you have to separate your brain from the guitar, because the guitar just becomes the drum kit at that point. It's like an accompaniment, you know?
It's like you're giving it beats instead of like, yeah,
because so I look at it's storytelling. I mean, it's folk music and it's storytelling, but it's quicker. I don't, a few more words, but it's just how and where I found my voice and what sounds like and feels like me. But it's definitely taken a lot of work to get that disconnect the head from the body kind of thing.
Yeah. So that has been one of my biggest issues whenever I've tried to write like lyrics for a song, and it's because I have I can't shrink what I have to say, and that's been with everything. So like I wrote like screenplays for a long time, and like writing a short was the hardest thing ever for me. Writing like a short story is tough. Like doing like a little poem or something, I can't. Anytime I ever tried to do a haiku, it just didn't. I had too many words. Right. You know? So like to hear that and to see how you do it, it's just like, it blows me away.
I think it's for me. It's like it's fun to build the clay and just free form and spit this, and get the words out. And then once you have that big thing, like that's when I wrote the first book and learning how to edit. That was like the big step for me, because it was like you start taking these sentences, one line, one word out, whole paragraphs out, and you watch this piece of work get tighter and tighter and tighter and stronger. And that's why I try to get every song to be where it's just all punches, 2.5 minutes of just a punch every time. And if I, when you're performing a piece, you can feel your weaker lines and stuff, and like I try to get rid of those, just try to get rid of them a bit as best we can, and make it as tight and as action-packed as possible. And then hopefully at the end of 2.5 minutes, everyone can go, oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of your first book, Hello, My Name is Henry, it ruined me. I was like, and the thing is like, so I brought it with me to Pooza because I was like, I'm going to start reading this here because I feel like I never have time when I'm home just to sit down and read. Right. The first night I read like 50, 60 pages. The second night I read like 100. And then I finished, and then I got home, and then I finished the book when I got home. And there was a point in the story where I was like, I hope this isn't what happens. And it did. And I was like, because it's something that I've had like a similar thing to, something I can relate to, and like I'm like no.
I will, if I may, I will say that we were at the grocery store and he had a oh no moment in the apple aisle, and he was like, I think I know what happens to Henry now.
Because he
didn't know yet.
It was pretty much done, and I was leading up to the end, but I didn't have a way that it got out. And we were at the grocery store, and I was like, oh shit! It was just one of those things that just hits you. I was like, oh shit! Oh no!
Oh no! On the apple aisle.
Yeah.
Oh no! On the apple aisle. Yeah, it's an amazing story. It's a great book, and it was probably the first book I've read, and in a long, I do a lot of audiobooks because I travel and because I'm always at work, and but it was the first book I got to sit down and read, and I read it so fast, and because I just couldn't, I remember our last night at Pooza, we had to get up early, and I was like, I'm gonna go to go read whatever. Next thing I knew, it was like almost 7 a.m. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go to sleep.
Thank you for taking the time with it. That means a lot.
That book quickly became a book that means a lot to me, my friend.
Thank you.
I can't wait to start the next one. I have it here.
All right.
But I had to give myself a break after Henry, and then And then I started to read another book that someone else I knew wrote, and like I just haven't been able to get back to it because I've been so busy. Like, you know, I think I need to go on vacation so I can read more.
Right.
We've been talking about how difficult it is for me, since the pandemic, of reading. The same thing, you have like a physical book that used to be such a joy and a comfort to me, and so much joy was sucked out of my life during that time that focusing to read a book has been difficult.
Yeah, my attention span has gone to shit.
I do want to ask this about it. What came first, the book or the song?
I think they were happening at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't a. They were happening at the same time, and I was writing the book, and the song "Hello, My Name Is Henry." That's literally straight from the book. Those first few lines.
Mm-hmm.
My brain was just connecting in that thing, and I was like, "Oh, that's a song." So yeah, the songs and the book were happening at the very same time, and the book happened from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and the songs came the next morning or afternoon. So it was, they were happening all at the same time.
Oh, okay. I like that. Vanessa, how long have you been writing? Like, how long have you been able to write? Because here's the thing. Like, I was writing. The moment I learned about creative writing, I stopped being a little asshole because I had something to express myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I used to write like little horror stories, and my teachers, the educators would send notes home asking if there was problems at home, and they would pull me aside. What's that?
Your work was good then.
Yeah. I mean, for like a third grader, yeah. So, but like they would send all the, and like, so I ended up stopping it for years, and then I picked it back up in high school, and then I had to stop it again because, like, you know, for whatever reason, my father wasn't a good guy, we'll just say, and like he would like fucking ridicule me for it, and you know,
shit, right?
Playing football and working on cars wasn't enough. You can't be a writer too, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So,
right,
you know,
right.
So,
shit.
But like, you know, so like, how was it? How was it for you? Like, have you always had that? And
I've always been writing. I had supportive, creative environment. My grandfather, these are all his paintings. When he died,
Oh, wow.
He had like 400 oil paintings in his basement that he just did because he loved to paint. So the arts, I was fortunate to have parents who supported it, but simultaneously were like, well, you can't just major in art, you should, you know, get a communication degree or something. But since I was a little kid, I was always writing books for my dolls that were, you know, doll sized. And I had a wild imagination, probably far into my adulthood, that I just was always trying to find ways to do that. So since I was a kid, I was creative writing and trying to, like, I was part of the Scholastic Book Fair, and, you know, made my first book in fourth grade. And
then you did a zine coming out of college.
After college. Yeah, that was a way to stay creative and connect to the punk scene in San Jose, California at the time. And so, yeah, I've always been interested in arranging words. And then I think a lot of my art in the last 15 years, when I was doing a lot of lace paintings or stencil work, that was a way for me to kind of like explore words on a different scale, not on paper, kind of make it more visual and interactive. And then I think that allowed me to start writing songs and seeing things kind of in a different arrangement.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, does each, I don't know, form do something different, or does it all kind of do the same thing for you? Like, so I'm gonna say, like, I love audio editing and podcasting and video stuff, and I love it, and it's an art within itself. But like, it doesn't do the same thing that writing does for me, and like and I can't get out the way, you know, in the way like I need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, to express things. Like, I love doing it, and unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but it does take up a lot of my time. So for me to find time to write now, like I have to basically schedule myself you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does each thing do something different, or does it all blend together?
That's a good question. I think for a long time, I was very critical and punishing of myself of like, oh, you have to sit down and you have to write in your journal in the morning and have those creative thoughts be in one spot. And then from there, you can go over and start to structure a song, or, you know, a short poem can go onto a lace piece. But then I started writing in my notes section on my iPhone and seeing things in smaller, shorter bursts seem less intimidating. And I would start to write those physically onto index cards. So I'd have like 2 sentences, you know, stay soft, stay brave, or immaculate Mary in an open ass nightgown on one card. And then since I'm a visual learner and physical, and from the 80s, so physicality is important to me, I would start to arrange those index cards taken from the notes section of my phone. And I was finding that the kind of the old model in my head of you have to sit down and you have to journal, and from there that will, you know, inspire the song. It's become more immediate for me. And I think similar to what we were saying about how reading a novel has become difficult, there's like an immediacy in the writing. And so even trying to take advantage of social media as being like, oh, well, this can be a short little poem, you know, or a short little story, and it's okay if it doesn't do well in the algorithm. That's what I'm feeling and thinking about today, and sharing that, and just kind of trying to dissect the formality of it, I think.
I'm an nincompoop. What is lace painting?
Oh, before I started doing songs, I was painting lace curtains with poems, with like big stencils. So like Frank Turner used the Stay Soft, Stay Brave slogan on a big lace banner as a backdrop for one of his tours and stuff like that. Yeah. So
I'm a nincompoop. I don't know a lot of things.
No, I don't expect you to know my entire catalog. Please no. And I've worn many hats. So yes, I was painting poems with stencils onto like lace curtains.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
Was like my transfer from being a visual artist to a performing artist.
Hell yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I had never. I guess I had never really heard of that before. So
I think I invented it.
That's awesome.
Out of being absolutely poor and having no money to buy canvases, that you go to the thrift store and you can buy a lace curtain for 99 cents.
Hell yeah,
baby! Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Now, Micah, for you, like at a young age, was the creative juices flowing then too, or?
So I had this. I was all sports growing up. Sports, basketball and baseball and basketball were my main focuses. Baseball was my first love, my true love, and then I think my I can pinpoint the time, but we won't get into it. But there was a time with athletics, you hit these spaces and meet up against other people where you're like, I had a very specific moment where I was like, I was playing basketball against a guy, and he was really, really good. And I remember watching him blow by me, and I was like, there's no amount of work I could ever do that my body will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, and that kind of hits you, you know, and you're 12 years old, you're like, so it hits you. So I continued with sports, but when I turned about like, I think my subconscious knew like, you got to find something, dude. So when I was like 13, I started playing drums, taught myself to do that. And then 14, I found the guitar. And so my life really did this big major switch from being the sports person to the guitar music person. And I was just eaten up with it. And I've been in love and probably addicted to it since I was 13 years old now. Yeah. So I kind of found, I have no imagination. Wasn't super creative. I'm not a creative person, I don't think, in most ways. That was my new infatuation. I'm fortunate that it's lasted this long. Yeah, so I don't think I'm creative I was not born creative, or I'm supposed to be doing this or anything. Like,
I don't know. I think you're very creative, and with just how you do things and how you do things. Like, and I also think you carry you carry a confidence with you to do what you want to do and put it out there. Like I haven't really put anything in my I'm like this. The thing I'm working on, the little project I'm working on now, will be the first thing I officially ever put out. And I was
great.
Thanks. And like I was gonna do it. It's basically I had a collection of these, like I just call them essays because I don't know what else to call them, but it's probably everything from poems to spoken word. You know what I mean? Like little memories of mine and stuff. And I had this like collection of them, and I was looking at it. I'm like, oh wow, there's two distinct vibes between like this half and this half. And I was like, well, maybe I'll put them all together once I finish it, and I'll put it out as a little book or something. But then I was like, you know what? I have an audio platform. Let me do an audio book. And I was like, I'm only going to do half right now. I'm going to do this half. Like it's called Disconnect. So you can get an idea what that's about. But like, you know, so but like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to put it out as like a little audio book. And then I was like, and if people want it in print, I can do that too, I think. You know what I'm saying? Great. So yeah, but it's like hard, man. Cause like we're around the same age. Like, you know, you're not supposed to show emotions. You're not supposed to be vulnerable. And like, this is the most vulnerable I've ever done like publicly before, you know?
I know this is just me, but it's what helps me do this is, there's this little saying I have in my head that is, fuck you.
Yeah. Yes.
Just do it, man. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I was thinking like, so I said this as like Jeff said this before, kind of joking, but I realized how true. Like I've never had any kind of real like tangible success of any kind, anything. So like I've always been very free to do whatever I want. I've never had like a label or a manager that's like expecting you to come through with the next big hit or something. So it's like, well, I always just, for better or worse, just always do the thing that's most fun to me. And if somebody, if it lands somewhere on the other side, awesome. So like with your work that you're doing, like, fuck them, man. Yeah. It's going to make you feel good. You're gonna feel good about putting it out into the world. And I guarantee there's going to be at least one, probably a lot more than one, at least 2, 5, 10 people that like connect with it in some small way.
Yeah. And thank you. Yeah. And that's what I want. That's what I hope for. You know, if just one person connects to it, like, it's just like, because like I was the person that always felt alone. Like I had friends growing up, I have family, and like I just felt like I was alone in everything. And like honestly, it's is it cliche to say like the punk rock world kind of made me feel less alone? Maybe, but like it's kind of I remember the first time I went to a show a punk show, and like I didn't know the band that was up there, and it connected. So I was like, "Ooh, this is something else." Like it's
cliche because it's true.
Yeah,
and it's what all connects us through these things and makes us feel less alone. And if that's the only thing we get from it, it's worth all of the energy and our time in the world, right? Because we do. I'm guilty of spending days, years, the first 30 years of my life in my head, not saying anything, you know, and like. If it makes us feel a little bit less alone, that's a beautiful thing and worth our time and energy.
And I think there's like tiers to the vulnerability of like you having this work and then you being in this world and seeing different ways of connecting with people, whether it's from stage or podcasting or zines or whatever. And then there's that next tier of like, I think I want to say this out loud. I think I want to share this. And there's not a right or wrong if people never do that. My grandfather never shared any of his work with anybody in 300
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
Right. But I feel like there's something that's even more satisfying when you get to that other side of like releasing it, you know, of releasing control of this is the perception I would like people to have of me. And that's been a big thing for me performing, because I always say like I can't sing pretty, but I have things to say and I want to say those things, and that's what I'm interested in. So at Pooza, I was talking so much shit in my head of like, well, without the band, what are we going to sound like in this big park all by ourselves? And you know, the big stage was for big bands and just everything in my head. And it's like, but I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like Micah said, fuck everybody. Fuck you.
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny. That was the approach I had when I played football. Because I would sit there and psych myself out before a game to the point where my teammates are like, "What is wrong with this kid?" I'm just like, "You're not fucking good at this. Like you're just a big, strong kid. Like there's nothing you could like." I played defense. It's not a smart position. You know what I mean? I wasn't a smart, and I'm not smart at football. I just knew how to like grab hold of somebody who had a ball in their hands and not let go of them. You know what I mean? So like, and then I would get out there and I would do pretty well. Like, I mean, I played, I played until I was about 30. I played football until I was about 30. So like,
Did you really?
I played like, they call it semi-pro, but it's not, it's like more or less, it's like glorified clubs. You know what I mean? So, but like, I did the same thing. Like, I remember some of the, what happened? Some of the last games I had, I remember going like, "You're too old for this. Like, you're too old. You know what I mean?" And like, but then I would go out there and do all right. And I hate that I need that negativity to get me to do things. And like I don't know for you if it happens with you or not, but like the voice that's telling me that I ain't shit is a very familiar voice that I know of a person. Yeah. So it's like, but at the same time, I got like this little Trev's inside and he's scared, and like adult Trev is like getting angry for little Trev because of that. It's fucking weird how it works.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's interesting with, it's all performance, like athletics to performing in front of people, performing music, whatever. It's this meditative state. It's like any professional athlete, like, isn't thinking while they're on the free throw line. You know, they're in it, they're inside of it, and that's what allows people to excel. Say on the football field, when you're just reacting with all the knowledge that you have in your head, whatever, you're just reacting, and that's when you're at your best. The same as it's this meditative thing that is addictive and beautiful and terrifying, and comes with a million different traps. And
For sure. Yeah. I want to change gears a little bit here. You guys have a single coming out soon?
Yeah, we do. We
Can we talk about it or not yet?
Yeah, no, happy to. Micah and I recorded it like a demo version and put it out right before Christmas. It's called No Christmas Cards for Fascists. And so we recorded it with the full band.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, it doesn't really relate to anything in real life. I don't know if any family members can relate. But we recorded it with the full band just a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in June.
And we're just waiting on final mixes now. It's like Call Me Rita with Micah Schnabel it's like all conjoined for the first time, really.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's Vanessa and I both singing lead on it.
Right, and Micah's solo band is the same players that are in Call Me Rita, so...
Same group, yeah.
Right, yeah. But I think it was like last summer, I was having the realization parasocially on social media that relatives of mine were drinking the juice of fascism, and which was interesting to me because I hadn't experienced it the first go around with Trump as president, and so I was kind of seeing this soft launch of their hate and talking to family members about that and like creating boundaries for myself and kind of aggressively talking about it with family members. And so that line, "There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascists," popped into my head because I think with like the boomer generation, there's so much value and care into that Christmas card that goes out, you know, and this is what my kids are doing and this is what my grandkids are doing. And so that line was kind of humming in my head. And then when the election happened, we were on tour and we had the night off in Meridian, Mississippi, which was a very real night for us. We went for a walk around our hotel. We were in downtown Meridian, and it's 3 blocks large. And we went for a walk around the hotel to get away from the TV and the polls. And there was a Christian radio station next door to the hotel, and they had a loudspeaker. It's midnight, and they have a loudspeaker outside of the storefront, blasting some extremist right-wing shit that was
crazy right-wing shit.
Absolutely terrifying. And there were people sleeping on the street just right outside of that. And I think from there, it kind of fast-tracked the inspiration for the song for us.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
I saw you guys perform this Puza, and it was another one that just kind of hits you right in the face, like, and it makes so much sense. I guess something to ask too, like, because you said it was kind of like a soft rollout, right, with your family with this. Like, what do you think? It was just frustration from the previous administration and what this guy was promising for the future, for this to happen like that? Or do you think, like, because I feel like there is a redemption arc here for people once they realize shit, fucking, like, hey, you're wrong, you know, and like what you're doing and what you're saying, like, isn't very nice, or it's flat out evil, and like I still believe there is like redemption for people though. You think there's like,
you do? Yeah. I feel like there is.
I think they could be.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, you have to, they would have to realize they were wrong. And, and I'm not saying they got to go like pay penance or whatever, but like they should just like, I think there's something about the guy that does this. Like, a lot of people in history have had it.
Right.
We're not going to get into names, I guess, but a lot of bad people where they can just almost hypnotize people, and I think and I'm not saying that it's like that for there's a lot of people out there that are just flat out racist pieces of shit, and this is their platform now, so they can be whatever they can say and do whatever they want about it.
Right.
But like, I think there are people that got like hypnotized, so to speak,
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, I think I mean, it's how it's how religion is based, right? Like, the Bible, or pretty much all holy books, were written in languages that have been dead for thousands of years. It's just this kind of blank, amorphous thing that you can project whatever you want onto it. And you could, if you go looking into any book, you could find some, line that justifies whatever it is. I want French fries on Thursday. Oh, well, book
The Potato Farmer.
Yeah.
Luke John 13.
Exactly. Like, and for whatever reason, this vapid haircut has allowed people to project their worst ideas out and into the world loudly and justify it.
Right. I think that's kind of what scared me so much, was knowing people who weren't in that belief category 8 years ago are now proudly in that category. And I hold a small amount of hope for, as you were speaking, of people coming around. And I know I have a lot of respect for Amel and the Sniffers band, and I've been trying to take a page from how she's been introducing songs of saying, like, as a white person, I don't know everything, and we're here to dismantle and learn new things. So I hold space for that, but at the same time, I'm not interested in those motherfuckers right now. Excuse me, I don't know if we can swear on this podcast, but I'm not.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised I haven't been the whole time.
I'm just not interested in those people anymore. I want to save and connect and persevere with the people who think like me, who don't have as strong of a voice or opportunities as me. So that's what I'm interested in right now. I'm not interested in trying to change anybody's mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not interested in changing anybody's mind. I'm interested in letting people know that you're not alone, and go with you. Yeah. That's where I'm at too. I mean, I'm not going to put any work into anybody that's they're going to have to. They want redemption. They're going to have to come for it themselves. And
they opened a concentration camp in Florida and are selling merch for it. If that's not the chance, if that wasn't your sign to jump the ship, I don't
think you're coming back. Yeah.
I don't think
Who would have thought the rapture would really be this, right?
so dumb and cartoonish and cruel, and God.
Everything about it. It's like a bad movie. Like it's a movie that would bomb in the box office is what we're living through right now. Like compare like the dude compared the bombing that they did in Iran to Hiroshima. Like,
yeah.
Did you see that? Like I was like, what? Like,
just what cartoon evil at this point.
Well, I want you guys to continue going out there and spreading the good shit. And
thank you so much.
What you guys do.
I'm excited to hear your essays and your poems.
Oh,
please keep us updated on that.
I will. Yeah, it's like I said, it's something I've been meaning to do. I just needed to do it, and here we are. So, but
well,
yeah, I think I go back.
There's a perfect time for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the decline, baby. Throw it all in.
I go back this month, I think, to finish the recordings too. So, but I went through some of the other ones, and I was like, oh, that's way too fast. You know, again, back to the cadence and tone, and
ain't much worse than hearing your own voice coming back at you.
No doubt. And it's funny because the one that I was really like upset with, I did a demo of it like a few years ago, and because that's when I got this idea, and like I'm like, could I just plug the demo in instead? Could we, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how we'll see how it goes. You guys, y'all tour pretty all the time, right? Are you going on tour anytime soon, or?
Yeah, we start August 2nd in Rancho Cordova, California, going out to Reno, Salt Lake City, out to Colorado, then down into Arizona, wrapping back up through San Diego, Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yeah, August 2nd we kick off.
Right, I'll make sure I get that in there. Is it anywhere online where I can link it?
We just announced it, put it out on social media today.
Perfect.
So the schedule's all out there.
I haven't made it there yet. Not since the what I was talking about before we started. Not since that little conversation. So awesome. Yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing. It's so important. It really
Thank
is.
you so much for having us and taking the time to talk about the work with us. That means a lot to us. And like we said, we're talking about creating this stuff. You never know. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk about it.
Of course. Listen, there's a lot of shit going on in the world. If you want to come back and vent, let me know. The door is open. If you have another release, an album or whatever, book, collection of poems, the door is always open. This is like, you guys are, you know, basically all the people I'm friends with are you guys are friends with. So like you're part of the Struggling Artist family. I just want you to know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good to connect with Pooza, and like I said, we're excited to see your words come to life.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trev.
All right, and that's the show. I want to thank Micah and Vanessa again for being today's guests on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you have links to their Bandcamps, to the band's Bandcamp. Go check out what they got going on. You know what? I'm going to put a link to Vanessa's Etsy as well. Yeah, they do so much. Like, check out all the stuff they do. You know, Micah just dropped an audio book on his Bandcamp, and you know, so make sure you go and support them. I want to give a shout out to Chris Chavez, Jeff Bousquet, and Aria Rad, my struggling artist brethren. I don't know, production team. I don't know how to label it. Look, they keep me going. They help out, and I truly appreciate that of them. And I love podcasting with them all. So check them all out. Chris on Instagram at 716 The Sound, Jeff at JRB Image, and Aria at Coffin_salesman. I want to thank Mark at State Line Records for being a sponsor of the podcast. Head over to StatelineRecords.com. See what he has in stock. I know he still has some copies left of Mark Lind and the Unloved, split with Generation Exit. So be sure to head over there and check out what they have. Thank you to the band Losers Circle for always allowing us to use their song, The Great Illusion of Time, off of their album Took Long Enough. You can always find a link to their Bandcamp page as well on the website. Go check it out. Pick up an album if you haven't already. I know I say it every week, but I want to make sure that you guys go and get it, because that album is an absolute banger. I want a huge shout out to everybody over on Patreon that helps us. Thank you for being patrons of the Struggling Artist Podcast. New member Sandy, and I don't think I mentioned new member Tracy. Thank you both for signing up. If you want to see what's going on over there, the tiers are inexpensive. I think the cheapest one is free. And then it goes up from there. Head over to patreon.com/podcast TSA. Contributions from you go to help us fund projects. Fund projects as well as helping out with the fees for the website and all this stuff. We do a lot. And I really do appreciate everyone over there that helps. If you've listened to this podcast or half of a podcast at least once and have told someone, hey, check out this podcast, or go get on this podcast, or if you've hit us up via email or text to put someone on the show, I appreciate you. If you want to do the same, you can email Trev at thestrugglingartistpodcast.com, or you could text or leave a voicemail on the Struggling Artist Hotline. That number, 774-570-1552. Like I said, you could leave us a voicemail, you could leave us a text. We will never call you back, I swear. I don't even call people back who call my normal phone, so don't be afraid of me blowing your phone up. 774-570-1552. Micah and Vanessa were kind enough to give us a song to play for the end of the show. This is their brand new tune from Call Me Rita, featuring Micah Schnabel and Vanessa Jean Speckman. The song is called No Christmas Cards for the Fascists. Until next week, take care of yourself. We'll talk to you then.
Dipper and a Presidente at noon, sacrificed on the altar vice under shroud of male doom. Someone come get me down in Meridian, Mississippi. My card's been cut in half, they snuck loose all our balloons. This ain't no howdy doody time, so I know who I am, motherfucker. And I know who you are too. Dancing in the broken glass, sifting through the ashes. I don't want any Christmas cards from the fascists.
Playing checkers on the front porch of a honky bucket, and a red cap wants to pour 'em out like I don't have $60. Like we all don't want to call our mothers and have them pick up. Ain't a pocket deep enough to buy me out of my humanity, and my sanity is hanging on by a broken violin string, playing the saddest song you have ever heard. And I know it's not in fashion to be held responsible for your actions, but there'll be no Christmas cards for the fascists. There'll be no Christmas cards for the
Life's one big collision of timing, and we are all passengers on this cable car careening down to San Francisco Treat Street. Hypothetical agricultural issues don't feed kids with clear backpacks, lunch debt, and dishpan hands. Flip the switch on this fatally flawed trolley ride of doom. Organize, unionize, strategize. Spit the 73 forever, stamp my message to the masses. There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascist. There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascist.
Luigi popped that insurance guy, and rich folks quickly realize a bullet does know its way through a Brooks Brothers suit. Now TV says violence isn't the key, but it sure seems to unlock a lot of doors. It's only a class war if both sides are allowed to fight. Well, otherwise it's a massacre. Traitors kissing the ring of the king and C-suites covering their asses. There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascists. There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascists. There'll be no Christmas cards for the fascists.